It is a Saturday, a little bit wet out there, about 8 o'clock, well, almost 9 o'clock in the morning, to be honest. A few scattered showers at my house, some light sprinkles showing up in parts of the Bay Area. Got some showers showing up out there now. This is the radar scope. This is that app that you can get. I pay for it. I think you can get aspects of it for free, but it's updated radar. But I picked up this line here. This is as of 8:50 this morning. But that's sort of interesting, isn't it? So out towards Livermore, that's some convective activity. We're talking about the cold air in here, not a lot of moisture, but that little lightning stroke indicates that there was a report, or at least the radar detected some lightning. So, interesting. That could be an interesting start. I'll put a loop on this. Let's see how that looks, which way that little cell is going. Again, this by the time you get to this, it's going to be dated, obviously, but we will look at it anyway just to see what the direction is. Yeah, coming from the south and moving towards the north and the east. So moving kind of out of the Livermore Valley up towards Mountain Home over the next few hours or so, or the next few minutes or so, quite frankly. So this is the radar out of San Francisco, and you can kind of see that flow, right? And that's sort of how it's going to look all day. Southern California, you got some rain as well, right? So starting off this Saturday, a little bit damp. We'll go down to south of Point Conception, and I think, let's see if we got some returns here. Yeah, a couple of returns, not much. So that's Cape Mend or Point Conception there. A few scattered light showers in that region. So we have instability in the area. There is the system, and you can kind of see where the moisture is. You can see where the cold air is too. So today we're going to talk about the chances for the more rain, scattered showers, like we saw today already in parts of the Bay Area. Some of you didn't, most of you didn't, but some of you did, especially along the coast or San Mateo County coastline. Windy, it's breezy along the coast. We've got gusts already up to 40 miles an hour, so a gale warning along the California coastline. We're going to look at snow in the mountains. We're going to look at the cooler weather that we're experiencing for sure, and then talk about Mount Whitney a little bit because they're going to get snow, obviously. Winter weather advisories up there. And this is the time of year where folks go out, even though the weather forecast is saying, hey, it's going to snow and be cold and windy. People still have their camping trips planned, and it's just human nature, I guess. And so this is kind of the kind of pattern where people can get into trouble in the mountains. It happens every year. I've seen it all too many times. And anyway, so we'll keep an eye on that. So here we go. This is a satellite. Here's the cooler air. You see the sun coming up. That's because it's visible. It needs light. So that's the sun coming up that last image. But you see the cooler air coming down. You see the moist air kind of moving on shore. And then you also see the texture. See the texture in there, the cloud cover. So there's a nice little, there's a little bit of convection occurring offshore, and as the cooler, moisture air hits the coastal hills. So chance of showers all day, not a surprise to us. Here is some of that activity I talked about earlier in the Bay Area, 100th of an inch, 200ths of an inch in Oakland Hills. Nothing reported in Pinole or Hercules or San Rafael or San Francisco. 0.06 down towards Crystal Springs, a little south of Crystal Springs, down towards Palo Alto, I guess, Atherton, those areas, Woodacre. But you see the difference. Now, Southern California, you guys, well, let's look at Lake Tahoe, got a little bit. So, yeah, right? I mean, I think that's how the day goes. Not a deal breaker, although that lightning cell we saw going out towards Mountain Home, if you get under it, it's going to rain pretty hard for a while, for a good 10 minutes or so. But it'll be gone right after that, and then it'll probably be dry the rest of the day. This is Point Conception, and this is some of that scattered shower activity showing up down towards Southern California as well. So, yeah, kind of on track for the forecast, right? I mean, this is what we anticipated yesterday and the day before was, okay, we've got a trough. We know it's unstable. We know it's going to be windy, cold, and maybe a sprinkle, and that's what we've seen thus far, maybe a sprinkle. This is the surface map. This shows the wind direction, so going this way, right? So arrow is the ball. These are the feathers of the arrow. I always say that because it's not immediate once you get used to looking at it that way. So that's the way the wind's blowing. Also, you see that 43, that's the wind gust. So off of Bodega Bay, we've got wind gusts in the ocean up to 43 miles an hour. We've got wind gusts up around Russian River, no, even further north than that, huh? Up towards Point Arena, gusting to 34, if you can see that on your screen. And the winds are coming in off the water, so that's the beginning of the wind. A wind advisory for parts of the Bay Area, for parts of central and northern California, up in the mountains as well, out in the desert. This is we're going to start off, we're going to look at three models. We're going to look at the GFS, we're going to look at the North American, and then the HRRR, all looking at the same thing essentially. And we're going to go just kind of look at the next 48 hours, go out as far as we can, and with these granular models, and we'll just compare them. And what you'll see, and you're going to see three different model solutions. This is the GFS for today, and this is this morning, right now. You see the lines, you see the wind because of the dark black lines. You see Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe is getting some activity. This is this afternoon, okay? All right, so I mean, kind of like what we're seeing right now. And then we go into tomorrow, and it sort of dissipates. What doesn't dissipate is the wind. It's very breezy. And then by tomorrow night, you get something like this. Looks like a little back wrap from Lake Tahoe coming in from the east. So kind of this low wrapping around, kind of reverse flow, which you'll see in the other models as well. So what's probably happening here is you're getting something like this. So see this moisture up in here, it's wrapping back around. And usually that's in a less advantageous position in the trough for good precipitation. You're not in you're not in the correct quadrant to get real good precipitation. Okay, this is the HRRR. This is today. This is this afternoon. See the wind, right? You can see the dashed lines. Those are ice thicknesses. They're dropping. But you see it's kind of centered really up kind of Lake Tahoe south, between Mammoth and the South Lake Tahoe. And then this is tonight. This is tomorrow morning. This is, you see the wind, and it clears out. And except by tomorrow afternoon, you get into some of that. So that is the North America model. Now we look at the WAM, or the HRRR. And this is a little different look. It's just the way the model output doesn't give you surface grade. It doesn't give you surface millibars, or pardon me, surface pressure gradients, and it doesn't give you thicknesses. Okay, so here we go. This is right now. This is this morning, kind of around lunchtime. Little blossoming in the afternoon when the sun heats the ground. Late in the afternoon, Lake Tahoe it's a little more aggressive with thunderstorms, but kind of east out towards Reno. So there's tomorrow afternoon, and then here it goes as far as we can into Sunday. So all it is just man up or woman up or cowboy up or whatever you want to up, and just get used to it. This is how it's going to be. Tomorrow should be the nicer day. It'll be a little warmer. Today will be the cooler day, and again, those scattered showers linger for today and this afternoon, especially up in the foothills in the west slope of the Sierra Nevada. How does it go from there? Well, here is this trough, and this is where we are right now. The trough, see it? So that thing kicks out starting on, this is Sunday morning, starts to kick out. Oh, by the way, this low, keep your eye on it again, as that thing moves off into the plains, explosive, right? It's going to go off. So we're looking at us right now, us being the West Coast. Here's Monday morning. Here's Tuesday morning, here's Wednesday morning, into Thursday, and then look what happens on Thursday night. Look at that. This little, right? And then a trough. So it kind of tries to merge southern moisture, that's precipitable moisture, tries to merge with that trough coming in. See it right there? And that is interesting. That would be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday next week. And that would be interesting because that's got moisture. So we'll see, but that, again, it's just a model, and they only do so well. We did the right thing. We looked at the short-range models and went out only a couple of days, and we saw basically that we've got scattered showers in the forecast. Jacket's going to be required. It's going to be windy. Okay. Hope I didn't confuse things. I think you get it right. So you look at that. If you do what I do, you just kind of go, that's where I'm going to be, and you kind of just hone in that model where I'm going to be, where you're going to be, because I don't know where you're going to be. I know where Ryan is this week, and he's getting married And I think he's going to get away with it. Not get. I mean, of course, he's going to get away with it. You know, they're going to get married. But he got a tent. I think they're up in Auburn. I think they'll be okay. I'll get a report back and we'll see. I mean, I think there'll be some sprinkles and it's going to be chilly and kind of breezy, but it might be kind of awesome too. Okay, I don't think it's going to rain out. This is the forecast for today, the high temperatures. Today it's going to go Reading 72. Tomorrow Reading comes back up to 78 degrees, almost 80 degrees tomorrow. So tomorrow warms up. Sacramento 73 degrees tomorrow, Sacramento 81. Fresno 73 today, Fresno 75 tomorrow. Los Angeles 67 degrees today and 67 degrees tomorrow. So, and this is the tomorrow forecast. So a little warmer tomorrow, not as warm as it had been, but you see that trough starts to move on. So now we're under the national map. We can see the gale warning along the coast. That's verifying. This is a frost advisory. And these brown areas represent wind, 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 and pretty just some rainy areas in here. A little bit of flooding stuff from leftover from just the amount of those last storms they've seen in the last couple of days. But overall, pretty awesome travel day. I think we've got the forecast for tomorrow, and this is how it looks. So you can see our trough moving off. Right there's our front moving off, and it's kind of rotating like this. This is a surface map, but you could see right there, and we could draw the jet in. This would be the upper level winds here. Probably something like this, or something like that. But that's the system. That's for tomorrow, and it's moved off, but you can still see it want to hang in the mountains with a winter weather advisory there. So yeah, okay, I feel pretty good about it. Feeling pretty good about it. So now we move on. We've done the forecast. Jackets, maybe an umbrella, especially if you're in the foothills in the mountains. It's going to be windy. Skiing is going to be kind of sketchy just because of the wind. I mean, we're already gusting to 40 miles an hour along the Big Sur or Point Reyes coastline. It's pretty busy, and the winds are just getting here. And this is a Surfline forecast model, and I just wanted to show you some of the things it can do. This is sea level pressure. I've included that. So see the bullseye. So this is a low, right? So there's a wrapping like this. This is at the surface, and that low creates wind. And that wind, see how the lines are bunched together? And that wind, which is strongest the closer they get together, which is there, creates swell. And that swell right there, that yellow area is a swell field, and it's being generated by these surface lows, which are being generated by upper air troughs, which are upper air lows as well. So if we move forward a little bit, I think we can do this. Let's go here. And then what we can do is we can go inside of this swell field. So there's the coastline. I'm really just showing you something you may already knew, but that's that in the middle of that swell field, it's 17-foot waves at 12 seconds. So that's big wave, but short interval. And that's because the wind isn't blowing over an amazing distance of water, right? If these two swell fields were linked, that interval would be larger because you'd have a larger swell field, a larger fetch is what it's called. And so you can see a lot of things from these maps. You can see sea surface temperature. I think we can pull that up. Sea surface temperature. And you can see the temperature is generally in the upper 50s. What is that? Upper 50s, low 60s. Off the California coast, off San Francisco, it's about 58 degrees right now. We can also look at, let's see what else we got. We can look at wind, wave energy, wave period. So yeah, we can look at all that stuff. It's kind of awesome. So we can go right down to the ocean level, down to the ground. And that's what we talked about yesterday, Steamer Lane. Kind of cloudy, kind of a few sprinkles down there today. The swell looks pretty good. But what you're seeing outside is some very strong wind. You see the wind moving. You can see the whole ocean moving right by, because this is inside the cove, and that's why it stays clean. And actually, it's a little cleaner than I thought it would be. Because remember yesterday I mentioned, I thought, God, it's going to get kind of bumpy in there. It looks pretty good. It's a pretty good tide right now for it, though. As the tide gets thicker and higher, it'll get a little bumpier. This is Halama, very moody shot here. Folks out enjoying it. Swell's going to come up a little bit out of the west. South swell's still lingering Southern California and up here, but nothing special, not really anything amazing, but consistent, but small. And then this is Cardiff down in San Diego. It's the wind got on it. It's a south wind. This is what happens when you're not tucked inside of a point. You're out in the ocean. The wind blows, and you see how the waves just get crumbly. So wind is not good for surfing. Onshore wind, and that's an onshore wind, or maybe more or less a sideshore wind. So what's going on? San Diego today is going to go 64 degrees. Okay, cooking along. We're going to, I did have some roll clouds here. This is up by Goose Lake. It's going to go about 56 degrees today. This is on Colby Mountain. And just can't really tell much from that shot. Earlier I had some awesome stuff. This is, actually this is Colby, pardon me. That was Blue Mountain, the first one by Goose Lake. This is Colby Mountain at 6,000 feet, and that is Mount Lassen. And you can see a little bit of a cap cloud on Mount Lassen. Not as high as Shasta, but still. And a few scattered showers up there, but overall, not too bad. But that's how the day looks. And by the way, this is how the day is going to look all day for most of us to some extent. This is Owens Valley. This is Silver Peak, 10,000, almost 11,000 feet up. And you're looking kind of Owens Valley, and to the right of the picture is Bishop. And just, you can see it. You can tell it's, man, we're getting on it now. The clouds are getting higher. The atmosphere is getting moisture. This is the Whitney Portal, kind of looking towards Mount Whitney, which is hard to pick out because they're all mountains that are over 13,000 feet, a whole line of them. Whitney is 14,505 feet. It is the highest spot in the contiguous United States. To climb it now, you got to have a permit, which is sort of interesting. I remember I never climbed it. I was going to do it after I did Shasta, and I was going to do it. I just didn't. I don't know why I didn't want to do it because it was kind of. It's a long drive. I was just a baby. It was back when I was working, doing some other things. But you have to get a permit. John Whitney and Charles Brewer, they were on the California survey, the geological survey in the 1850s, Up and Down California, the book name by Brewer. And Whitney was part of it. And Brewer was a botanist. Whitney was a geologist. He was born in 1823, died in 1892, mining guy and a rancher. Pretty good guy, apparently. I couldn't dig up any dirt on him. Sometimes these old timers, you get some dirt. But he was a founder of the Sierra Club, which is awesome for back then. And then, and he was all about outdoor preservation, kind of the Theodore Roosevelt kind of a thing. But this guy was doing it in the 1880s, 1890s, something like that. Let's see, was he alive in 1890? Yeah, he died in 92. But in like the 1880s to 1890s, he was heavily involved in preserving wild spaces. So hats off to Whitney. So whenever you see the mountain, that's a vision. Because that geologic survey, I'm under the impression they came in right after California became a state, and we kind of took it. We yanked it away from the Latinos, and we just pulled it away. And they sent people out here looking for minerals because they had found gold. They're like, oh, there must be more. So that survey, they spent a long time going up and down California, and they were looking. They kind of couched it as we're doing other things, and like they were. But they were really looking for money to fund the Civil War and to bring money back into the Eastern coffers, because they realized, oh my God, this place is a geological, amazing potential. And they did. In fact, the silver mines, the gold mines, the quicksilver mines, just lots of stuff was found. And this survey group was kind of the pinnacle of those discoveries and finding them. So yeah, pretty awesome stuff. So that is Mount Whitney, beautiful place. And again, they'll get some snow. This is San Diego, University of California, San Diego. They're getting a little bit of rain. I'm not seeing it actively dropping rain, but it's wet there. San Diego today is going to be in the low 60s. San Diego tomorrow in the mid and low 60s. It's a cool day. And it is, there's a little bit of rain. Yeah, it's kind of just spitting out there, isn't it? And then we go to Big Bear. And you can see the lake, and it's going to be spitting up there pretty soon too. And of course, we know where the eagles are. They're on this spit of land right here. Let's check in on the birds, and they are all four. It's like a family photo. It's like the Christmas album. Yes, awesome. Wow. Sorry, I never look at them before I look at them with you, because I always want to see them just cold. And plus, who knows what they're doing. And there's a little food there. There's a little food. They're getting some, and they're digging it out of the nest. The nest looks a lot more cozy than it did in the winter. They kind of got it dialed right now. I believe Gizmo and Sunny. I swear I think that's Gizmo right there, kind of turning his head. And then that's Mom digging around, I believe. I think I see some over her left eye, yeah, or her right eye. Anyway, okay, I hope you have a good day. Listen, I'm not going to update today. I don't think this weather, I think there is a chance of a thunderstorm. We've already seen that. In fact, we can take a peek again and just see if anything's happening there. We'll go up the coast. We'll change radar installations. That's what you have to do at this site. And we'll see, you can see the lightning come through. I'll stop it down and we'll look at that line. So, yeah, I mean, that's rain. That's rain in Livermore right now, out towards Mountain House. That's a pretty good little cell. It's short-lived. You can see by the movement they're not lasting long. But that's the current radar. So this is kind of the way the day is going to go. And you can see up in the mountains as well, right? And I saw another lightning strike up there, I guess, didn't I? Right up, yeah, up towards Bridgeport. So, yeah, a little bit going on. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. That was a long kind of one, but we got weather right off the top. I'll put chapters in so you can peruse through if you want to see birds. You can see birds. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can watch the whole thing. It's just a, it's a charcuterie. Charcuterie? So like, is that what it is? Is that what you got? The plate with all the food on it? Yeah, it's a weather charcuterie. Okay, we'll see you back here.